Hello everybody, we are back again today talking about the Calgary Stampeders season preview. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe to me if you're new to my channel. If not, no big deal. Now let's get into it. So the first thing here is, can Calgary withstand their offseason losses that they've had on the defensive end? Last year the Stamps had a good year defensively and now get the unwanted news and the unfortunate situation where they are losing multiple guys and multiple notable names. You have Sean Lemon, Fuller and Ormelod, and then Jameer Thurman. So I won't go too far into depth for most of these players because you probably do know them. Lemon is a guy that, despite his age, continues to get after the quarterback pretty well and bring him down. And Jameer Thurman is a guy that I really do feel like is one of the more underrated linebackers in the league. I have repeatedly said that because every time I watch him play, I swear something good happens. As for Ormelod, I'm probably saying his name wrong. I was trying to listen to audio for it, but I don't think I've got it down. I have watched him for sure, and I do think that he is a problem for other teams in their offensive lines. But he is a guy now that is the highest paid defensive end in the CFL, thanks to the Toronto Argonauts. So right there you have two guys down in the trenches in a linebacker that's out for them. And I look at this and I say, wow, this is not good news for Calgary, because that's not good. But I do also look at this and say, it's Calgary. They do this all the time. They handle a lot of these losses, and they haven't really had to lose these guys, or I guess I should say that they haven't really had these guys for reliably long periods of time. I look at all these guys, and they've either had NFL opportunities or injuries. Thurman ended up, I think, playing with the Bears for a little bit, so he was gone, and now he's, of course, gone into Hamilton. And so for them, they know that they have a lot of holes to fill, I guess you should say, but they do it all the time, and they are in a situation where they've got a very experienced defensive coordinator. Brett Monson is no rookie to the CFL. This is his 5th year as the DC and his 14th year in the CFL overall for coaching. Clearly has shown what his defense is capable of doing. I think one year that he was there, they allowed the fewest big plays against, and then another year they had like the lowest scoring defense in the league. So a guy that is very experienced and a part of the culture of next man up as they continually lose guys to free agency, whatever the case is. The second thing is, will QB depth be an issue? The first year that we are looking at right now is the first season without Bo Levi Mitchell in the roster for quite some time, as he's now in Hamilton, and it is now just Jake Maier by himself. And while Maier's got 29 career games played under his belt, it's all him now. There is no former MLP, a former Grey Cup champion waiting for him under the wings that has been there and done that multiple times. And I think they're okay in terms of starting quarterbacks. Maier has been a guy that has avoided career interceptions in his career at this point, and has had some really amazing games. I am hopeful for him. However, I do worry if he gets hurt that they are going to be in a very, very bad spot, because I really don't know who their backup would be right now. Tommy Stevens could be the QB number 2 if you're looking at this, but Stevens is a guy, from what I've seen, is more of a 3-down guy, and I know a lot of these guys start down as the 3-down guy, but he seems to be more of a running quarterback, and is a guy that likes to run more downhill. And for Stevens, I don't exactly know if he should be the backup quarterback, but we will see. I don't have an answer, but the good news is for Calgary, they probably already do know who that's going to be as the season is close, and they are, hiding some gem that we don't know about. The third question is, can Calgary get over the playoff hump? This probably seems like a very silly question. This is a club that consistently goes to the playoffs. I don't think they've missed the postseason since 2004, and they are probably the best team in the league over the past 20 years. But in recent years, playoff success has evaded them a bit. In fact, since their 2018 Grey Cup win, they haven't won a single playoff game. 2019, they ended up losing to Winnipeg in the semifinal. 2021, they ended up losing to Saskatchewan in the semifinal. That was in overtime. That was a heartbreaker for them. And then last year, of course, they lost to the BC Lions. And while they've been able to get there, it does bring up some interesting questions about the coaching staff's future, and that is primarily about whether or not Dave Dickenson is going to be there, because you look at what they've been able to do, and you say, well, this is a team that's used to winning championships. So if they go into the playoffs yet again and lose possibly early yet again, that would be 0 for 4 in their past playoff games. and that is a problem. So I do think that's one of those things. Can they shake off some of this playoff rust? And if they don't, is it a cause for concern? My final thoughts here is that Calgary is a team a lot of people, especially odds makers, don't seem to be giving a lot of respect, and personally, I don't get why. This team had 6 losses last year, and assuming my math is correct, it was by a total of 22 points. They were in the thick of it. They are a team that features a great offensive line, or at least they were last year. They didn't allow a lot of sacks, and they were also a group that featured a great running back. They also had the offensive line that was part of the best rushing attack in the league. Now, I know we will say a lot that the offensive line is hard to talk about because we don't have a lot of stats for the CFL. But in general, they have a lot of continuity for this team, and it's got a receiving core that is to die for. I think it's going to be a really good thing for them. They've got a lot of national depth, in my opinion, and they are just really, really in a great spot to see this offense continue to hum after last season. I think they'll definitely be a top 3 team in terms of offense for their points, and I do think that they'll be in a situation to be a really, really good threat for the Grey Cup this year. Yeah, you know, maybe this is a team that is facing some big losses, but what else is new in Calgary? They're going to be just fine. In short, I really think this team doesn't have a whole lot to figure out, and I do think that they could be the team that raises the Grey Cup this year at the end in November, but we will see. But what are your thoughts on the Calgary Stampeders this season? Do you think they're a Grey Cup contender or a Grey Cup pretender? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Also, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe and have a great night.